part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
All right, we are back. It is the latest edition of Up Next with Adam the Bull. With me, of course, Adam the Bull. And joining me every week, I have a co-host. And this week, longtime friend of the media. He's been covering sports forever. He's been covering movies and TV. But today, forget this sports nonsense. Hey, we're talking television. The great George Thomas from the Akron Beacon Journal, now the breaking and trending sports reporter. And he's been covering movies and TV for a long time as well. George, we were talking off the air, but of course, good to see you again. How you been?
I'm good, Adam. How are you? Missed you.
Yeah, missed you too. It's been, the last couple of years have been so weird between COVID and, and then you're changing your role at the paper and me changing from the radio to TV podcast. It's, changed a lot of things, but it is good to catch up. And we've always had some great conversations over the years. We both have a mutual interest in TV and movies. And today we'll look specifically at television. On today's program, we will get into the top 5 sports-related TV shows of all time. And then we'll answer some fan questions that have come my way that we'll bring up. And later, I'll bring in my son, Aaron, for the Kids Report. He's talking about the latest version of Scooby-Doo. I mean, we had Scooby-Doo when we were a kid, George, but there's a newer version now. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't. But the thing is, I thought the Warner Bros. Tanked Scooby-Doo.
I don't know. All I know is my son the other day, he's watching. I'm like, what are you watching? He's like, Scooby-Doo. I'm like, I used to watch Scooby-Doo, but it's a newer version. So I don't know. Apparently it's a season 2. I had no idea.
You sure he's not watching Velma?
No, not Velma. No, it's a cartoon. It's Scooby-Doo. I watched it for a few minutes, so we'll get into that. Plus, he and I watched the trailer for Secret Invasion. Have you seen the trailer for that?
Yes, I have.
Based on just the trailer, thumbs up, thumbs down.
That's my man Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
Do you not give anything he appears in for 2 minutes a thumbs up? I mean, he's Samuel Jackson.
I mean,
give him a thumbs up.
He's so good that he made a movie called Snakes on a Plane. And if it was anybody else in that movie, it would probably been the worst movie ever, right? But because it was him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He sold that movie on one phrase. Snakes
one phrase.
Plane.
Yes, that's right. That's right. 100%. He is the man. No doubt about it. All right. George, I want to start with some shows that you told me you were watching. And I guess what I do now with new shows is I watch one episode. If it's a subject matter that I'm interested at all, I watch one episode. If it grabs me, I stick with it. If it doesn't grab me, I let it go for now because there's so much to watch. And then if enough people I trust, like you, tell me, you know what, go back and check that out, then I go back and give it a second try. I would say in 3/4 of those cases, I end up sticking with it. 25% I don't. And you have 2 shows on your list because I texted you and I said, what are you watching right now? And there's 2 shows on your list that I started. I thought they were okay. Neither one fully grabbed me, but I want to see if you could talk me into going back to either of them. The first one, and I think the more likely one that I would jump back into, is Rabbit Hole. Rabbit Hole, of course, with Kiefer Sutherland. Tell me, if you will, and others, why Rabbit Hole is worthy of watching.
Kiefer Sutherland?
Yeah. No, not Kiefer Sutherland?
I
thought I was confusing it. Okay, fair enough.
No. That's the reason you watch that. Look, I'll be honest with you. I haven't got through the entire thing primarily because of my schedule.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's got my interest. It's intelligent. It's well done. And it speaks to where we are now with tech. And that's what it gets better. And I'm not one of these bingy people. There are very few shows I've ever been able to just sit there and go at it for a day or two.
Yeah.
I mean, call me old. Michael, am I old? It's a Gen Z thing. It's like you sit there, you binge. I can't do that. And I'll be honest with you. It's a network show, but East New York, they canceled it.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the series finale yet because I want to save it and savor it because I like it. So Rabbit Hole, I'm taking my time with. That's
Okay.
not an indictment of the series, but you watch that for Kiefer Sutherland. You watch it for a great plot. You watch it for being timely, and it gives you something to think about.
The other one I tried and didn't stick with, because I feel like I've tried like 50 shows in the last month or whatever, is Night Agent.
Really?
Yeah, it seemed interesting. I can't even remember why I stopped watching it though. So maybe I need to go back because another show that I started, stopped, and then went back to is Class of '09. Have you seen this?
That one I haven't seen.
Okay, so I watched the first episode and I was like, and then I went back, watched it, and then it kind of grabbed me the second time around. That happens sometimes. You're in a different mood sometimes, and maybe something grabs you differently. So between Night Agent and Rabbit Hole, which do you like better?
Well, I finished Night Agent.
Okay. All right.
Confession, I don't binge a lot, but
Yeah.
that one
that sucked you in.
Over 2 days. Yeah. It's trashy action. And my wife likes trashy action.
Fair enough.
I mean, it's not particularly believable. The only show less believable than that one is Citadel. But
Right.
It was thoroughly entertaining and it was well done. It was from Sean Ryan, who created what was that show on FX with Michael Chiklis?
Oh, when he was a cop, right?
Yeah.
Why can't I think of the name
He was
of
a
it?
bad cop, and I don't remember the show. I liked the showrunner. So I gave it a shot, and I got sucked in.
Get sucked in, yeah.
And it happens. I mean, like I'll go back to Rabbit Hole, but on this vein, you're the one who talked me into going back to The Boys.
And did it suck you in?
Oh my God! And here it is.
Yeah.
I started watching while I had COVID, so
well, that's a good time to do it.
It got me through COVID last summer. I lost my family trip to Disney World and Universal, but I was able to. Thank God I went back to that show because it was just. I'm like, oh no, it's over.
Yeah,
for now, and it's like and the addition of one of my. I won't call him a favorite TV actor, but he was in one of my favorite network shows, Supernatural, Jensen Ackles.
Which guy is he? Was he in the third season?
That's Soulja Boy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was good. He was really good, yeah.
It juiced it a little bit more for me.
He was excellent. Yeah.
Yeah, and so some shows are worth going back to. Trust a friend, in other words.
I'll tell you, maybe my favorite show of all time. At worst, it would be my second favorite show of all time. Was a show I actually watched the original episode and then for years did not watch, and then went back and I said, "Oh my God, this is the greatest show ever! How did I not watch this?" And that was The Wire. Believe it or not.
Oh my! You know what? I'm right with you. I did not get the hype when it was in first run. And my wife and I normally take Christmas off, the Christmas season off of work together, and we were looking for something to do. So we binged The Wire over 2 weeks.
And it was amazing,
and
right?
It's like it's amazing.
Amazing.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's still relevant today. So
100%. Just different just better technology.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, but it's 100%. And what I loved about that show, which really I think is so unique, is that pretty much without exception, every character, both the good guys, the cops, and the bad guys, the drug dealers, all had a little good and bad in them, with very few exceptions.
You mean they're like normal people who are complex, who have agendas and varying motivations? Yep, that's definitely appealing. And although my favorite character was Bunk, who was more good than anything else.
He was, he was. He's a great character. Well, he's also in Jack Ryan. Do you watch Jack Ryan? I can't remember.
Oh yes.
He's a great actor.
They're doing one more season, and that's it. It's going to be a punctuated season. It's shorter than it has.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but season 4 is it. I think
that's smart, though. It's time to, the shows like that. Like if you go on too long, the storylines are going to get kind of repeated. Like it's CIA. Like, how many different avenues can you go? Another bad guy and another bad guy, and I think that's smart. By the way, it was funny because when you talked about Rabbit Hole, and for some reason a show that I watched over the winter popped into my head. I don't know if you watched this. Kaleidoscope. Did you see Kaleidoscope on Netflix?
I have not even heard of it.
So Kaleidoscope, it sounded stupid when I first heard about it because it's a show on Netflix that you can watch in any order. So it's 8 episodes, and you can watch the 8 episodes in any order. I think there's one episode that has to go at the end or the beginning. I can't remember now. But you could watch it basically in any order. Doesn't sound like it makes sense, but it does if you watch it. And I really like that. And it was a because I was trying to think when you said you don't binge that much, and I don't love to binge. And actually, somebody asked us about that in the fan question, so we'll get to that later. But I try to stop myself from binging, but that was a show that I just kind of went crazy on. Another thing I wanted to hit on: you are a Picard fan. I am not a Picard guy.
Let's qualify that statement, but go ahead.
Okay, go qualify.
Well, first season extremely uneven. Second season a little bit better. Everybody, help me. Did you watch the third season?
I did not. I did not watch it.
Okay, here I'm in the minority here. Everybody's like, third season so great, blah 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 blah. This is what we wanted, and it's 90% fan service.
Oh, really?
I mean, you got first 4 episodes. All I could think about was how much can they rip off what I call the Wrath of Khan trilogy. Kirk's got a son, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. They're stuck in a nebula, blah blah blah, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
All this stuff, and I'm like, I don't want to see this. In this instance, I much prefer something like Discovery. That even though it can be a bit preachy, they're trying to do something different within the realm of Trek.
Okay.
You had a lot of fans with season 3 who were perfectly willing to go back to the future. Mind you, my favorite Star Trek character ever is Worf, Klingon.
Yeah.
Love Worf.
Yep.
Enjoyed seeing Worf again. And they did something different with his character.
Okay, good. I did like that character too. Yeah.
But it was 90% fan service.
Yeah.
And that was a disappointment there.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah.
But it's like, as I'm watching, and mind you, I had access to, Paramount sent me the first 4 episodes.
Okay.
So I was ahead for a while, I binged because,
right.
I'm such a Trekkie.
Yeah.
And, after the first 3 episodes, I'm sitting there telling my wife, doesn't this feel familiar?
Yeah, right.
And then I'd read all the reactions. I'm like, yeah, I was right. I mean, I was happy to see the characters again, but I'm tired of the long lost son. I really am.
It's an old storyline, yeah.
Yeah, and I realized they set the character up to potentially have another spin-off series. I mean, there's a push on to get Star Trek Legacy where 7 of 9, the reclaimed Borg would get her own ship and crew, and that's fine. 7 of 9 was a great character too, and the characters evolved over her appearances on Star Trek, so I'm cool with that. But having these other characters related to next gen characters,
yeah,
no thanks. Next gen wasn't even my favorite Star Trek.
Gotcha. Yeah, no.
So,
all right, George, I wanted to hit on something. I can't remember. Are you interested? Are you a follower of The Walking Dead and the whole family of that, or no?
I am not a zombie person.
Okay, so I was never a zombie person, and I got into Walking Dead late, and I become obsessed with it. I love The Walking Dead. I watched all 11 seasons of it. It ebbed and flowed over the years, but I thought overall it was great. And there's a spinoff. One of the many spinoff shows is called Fear the Walking Dead. And so I obviously you're not into it. Michael, are you into The Walking Dead? I can't remember if you've told me you are.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Did you watch? Do you watch Fear the Walking Dead also?
Yes, sir.
Did you watch the first episode that came out this past weekend?
I have not yet. I have not.
Okay, so I don't want to spoil it for you, but let me just say that I might spoil it for you a little. I feel like unless they salvage it in the next couple episodes, and I love Walking Dead's great. Fear the Walking Dead, for those who are Fear the Walking Dead people, the first few seasons, I'm guessing you'll agree, Michael, maybe you won't. The first few seasons of Fear the Walking Dead was not great. And then what saved Fear the Walking Dead was Morgan going from Walking Dead to Fear the Walking Dead. And I can't remember the actor's name or the character's name, but the guy who was like the sheriff, the cop, the tall, skinny guy. I can't remember his name. And the chemistry between those two guys, I thought made the show. They went in a different direction, and it was great. However, to me, Morgan, who's one of, if not the greatest character in the whole Walking Dead universe, they have effed with his character too much in this first episode, and he wasn't true to the character, and it really bothered me. I'll just say that for you Walking Dead people out there. I look forward to you watching it, Michael, so we can talk a little bit about this next time. But check it out. And one last thing, one new show that just came on, and I'll ask George and I'll ask Michael if either of you guys have seen this yet. It's on Apple TV. It's called Silo. Have either of you guys seen Silo?
No, but you know what you should watch on Apple TV?
What's that?
Series with Harrison Ford, Shrinking.
Oh, that's great. I've seen it. Fantastic show.
Absolutely. But
yes.
I've heard about Silo. That's on my to-do list.
Yeah. Well, Shrinking was awesome. The cast between Harrison Ford, Jason Segel, and then was it Alice? I keep forgetting Alice, not Allison Williams. Is it Allison Williams?
Jessica Williams.
Jessica Williams. I think I've called her Allison Williams every time I mention. I don't know why I want her name to be Allison. The three of them are great. They all have great chemistry together. I love that show. Check out Silo. It's post-apocalyptic a little bit to some degree, but it's not zombies or anything like that. But it's really good. It's a really good cast, even though it's like no like huge stars, but I don't know. I really like it. It's really good. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll go. George and I have both compiled a list of top 5 favorite sports TV shows of all time, and we'll get to that. That's coming up next. This is Up Next with Adam the Bull.
Hello, Brooks here with the Books with Brooks monthly book club podcast. Here's how Books with Brooks works. We read one book a month, and then we talk about it. Classics like Stephen King's The Shining, debut novels like We Are the Brennans by Tracy Lang, and tons of other compelling, life-changing stories, one book and 1 month at a time. So come read along with us, and then listen in.
Welcome, everyone, to Podcast 616, the official podcast of Earth 616. I am your host, Damon Royster, and I am inviting you to listen and subscribe to this Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast. On Podcast 616, we gather some of today's greatest comedians, writers, and actors to dive deep into all things Marvel, like comic book history and lore, all the interconnected superhero storylines, and of course, who's hot and who's not in the MCU. Honestly, why aren't you listening right now? You have the power to listen to Podcast 616. And as we always say, with great power comes even greater responsibility. Listen and subscribe to Podcast 616 wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, welcome back. It's Up Next with Adam the Bull, part of Press Play Pods. George Thomas is my guest / co-host this week from the Akron Beacon Journal. He is the breaking and trending sports reporter, not news, and movie, and he covers movies and TV as well. We're talking television, of course. And George, let's get to it. Our top 5 sports television shows of all time. You are my guest, so you go first. You want to go 5 to 1? You want to go 1 to 5? What do you want to do here?
Let's go 5 to 1.
Okay, I'm curious yours. Go ahead. Hit me.
All 5?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, number 5.
Sports Night.
I forgot about that show. That was a while ago, right? What channel was that on? I don't even remember.
It was on ABC.
Oh, man. Yeah, okay. That's a good one.
Written and created by Aaron Sorkin.
Wow.
And one of the characters was based on Keith Olbermann. So
yeah.
Interesting. Arliss.
Oh, another one I forgot about. That's a terrible job out of me. Great show.
Along that same vein, Ballers.
Yeah. Yes. Although I did sour on Ballers after a couple of seasons.
Yeah, it ran out of steam.
But the first few seasons of that show was great.
Very much on point.
Okay.
Number 2 and 1 are newer series, which is weird, but
Yeah.
Winning Time, The Rise of the Lakers Dynasty.
Love
I
it.
realize there are plenty of people out there who hate that show because, you besmirch the Lakers name, but it's
Yep.
like, I don't know, man. That show's got lots of great performances, especially from Riley as
Amazing.
Dr. Jerry Buss.
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
Yeah.
And
I think the kid that I don't know the name of the actor that plays Magic, but I think he's great.
he's got that personality thing down, doesn't he?
Yeah, he really
And
does.
the smile.
The smile's perfect.
I'm just wondering if they cast him based on the smile.
Yeah, I mean, you could believe that. He's got the smile perfect. And then number 1,
Cliche, Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
Because it's about sports, but it's about more than sports. It's about life, and that's what I really appreciate about it.
No doubt. It's a great list. Let me give you mine. I think if I would have remembered, for some reason I forgot about our list, that probably would have been number 5 had I thought about it. I like Ballers. It was in my others receiving votes. But number 5 for me, even though this, like Ballers, I thought the last season of the show wasn't quite as good, but still made number 5 Brockmire with Hank Azaria.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the first couple of seasons of that show were so funny. He's a baseball broadcaster who gets fired and ends up in the minors, and it's in this really bad minor league team. It's really funny. Number 4, one of yours, Winning Time, The Rise of the Lakers. That's a great show, and I don't, like you said, I don't care that Laker fans or Jerry West are angry about it. It's entertainment, and it's great entertainment. It's fantastic. By the way, one thing that you didn't put on your list that I didn't put either, but could have been on the list was what do you call it? The Michael Jordan, the last, what was it called again? The Michael Jordan,
The Last Dance.
Last Dance. Anyway, number 3, Eastbound and Down. Did you watch that show, George?
No, I didn't.
You didn't watch it.
What's the actor?
Danny McBride.
Yeah, he irritates me to no end.
You know what's funny is I've never liked him in anything else. I don't watch that show on Showtime with John Goodman where he's a priest or a preacher. I don't really like him in anything else, but in this role, I thought he was very funny.
And you know what? He's kind of disappeared, kind of.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if he banked the money and he's
maybe
taking it easy.
Number 2 for me is Cobra Kai. I know it's cheesy, but I love the Karate Kid world, and I love the show. It's ridiculous. You have these kids like basically borderline killing each other it's like insane. Somehow the guy who wins the All Valley tournament is like a widely known person in California. Like anybody would actually care about that. But I love the show. And number 1, of course, is Ted Lasso. It's a no-brainer. And I think when it's all said and done, I think 5-10 years from now, we'll be talking about Ted Lasso as one of the best shows ever.
That's
Period.
quite possible.
Yeah.
Cobra Kai, you know what? My son's been trying to get me to watch that.
You can't do it?
I was in high school when The Karate Kid came out.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a seminal film for my generation.
Yes.
I know I'm a little bit older than you.
Yeah.
But, that was one that left an impression.
What year did Karate Kid come out? 82? 83? You remember?
Panorama is on that soundtrack. Isn't it screwy that I know that?
Yeah, that is
pretty
crazy.
We're talking the new wave era. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. But,
Well, how old are you, George? How old are you?
I just turned 58.
All right, so you're only 7 years older than me. Well, not even, because I'm going to turn 52 in a few weeks. So you're about 6 years older than me.
84.
84. Okay, I was 13 when that came.
So,
yeah, I mean,
I'd been out of high school a year. And it still resonated.
Yeah, I loved it. I think you have to be a huge Karate Kid fan to like the show because it is kind of if there had been no Karate Kid, I would not be watching Cobra Kai.
Fair enough.
That's the reality. All right, those are top 5 sports TV shows of all time. Some good ones in there. We're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we're going to get to some fan questions, and then we'll wrap it up with the kids report. That's all coming up next. Up next with Adam the Bull.
Hey everyone, this is Don Mike Mendoza, the host of Producing While Asian. Join us in Season 2 for more conversations with actors, artists, producers, and more from Broadway, Hollywood, and beyond, every other Wednesday on the Press Play Podcast Network.
All right, we are back. It's Up Next with Adam the Bull. George Thomas is my co-host / guest today. George, I got to bring up my Twitter feed here, and so we get some fan questions because I got some earlier today. All right, here we go. Actually, this is something we've already talked about, so we know your answer, but I'll ask it anyway. My man Eddie, Brownstown 1, tweets, do you prefer the weekly episodic model? Episodic? Or the Netflix-style binge model regarding episode releases? Obviously, you prefer the weekly and not the binge, right?
Yeah, I'm an old fart. Yeah, I can do without the reruns. Let's try that.
Yeah. And the commercials.
Hey, mind you, the streaming services I have, I pay for the ones with no commercials.
Yeah, me too.
Because I don't like dealing with them. But if the TV season went every week with a new episode and ended, let's call it it would probably be along the lines of February every year, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I really am. But I don't need to sit there and get sucked into something for a couple days. It's just It's too easy to do.
Yeah, it's weird because I like the accessibility and the ability to binge, and yet I almost want to be forced to drag it out and not rush through it.
Yeah. Oh,
you know? And really, the only time I ever watch commercials now is during sports. That's it.
Those aren't going away.
Yeah, no. David Snodgrass tweets, have you seen the show on Netflix, The Night Agent? We talked about that earlier in the podcast. You have seen it. I think you've talked me into going back and checking out both that and Rabbit Hole.
That's one of those that both of those are going to suck you in. I mean, what episode of Night Agent? Was it just the one?
You know what? I don't even think I watched the full episode. I think I got cut off and I just haven't gone back yet.
After episode 3, you're not going.
I'll be in.
Thoroughly just trashy entertainment.
Fair enough. Joe Kwan, who could be Stephen Kwan's cousin, brother. I don't know. Probably not. He tweets, do you like The Rookie / The Rookie Feds? And how about Magnum PI? I don't watch anything on network TV because I love the original Magnum PI. I tried new Magnum PI, but 5 minutes in, I realized I was never going to be able to watch it. I don't know The Rookie or The Rookie Feds. Do you watch any of that?
I'm with you on 90% of it's probably 95%.
Yeah.
One show I had any interest in, East New York.
Yeah.
Was just canceled. Another show I have an interest in. I don't miss Abbott Elementary. That's just so well done and so funny and just so, it doesn't exclude anyone, but it nails a lot of African American culture.
Yes.
And I can appreciate that. So
it's the one network show that everybody that knows me knows I don't watch any network TV. I think in the last 20 years, I've watched like 1 or 2 network shows. And yet I've consistently been told, if you're going to watch one network show, watch Abbott Elementary.
Yeah.
One of these days, I may have to give it a try.
It's that good. And, if you've got Hulu, you can watch the reruns.
That's true. I do. Speaking of which.
Wait, one other show. Just showing how old I am. The reboot of CSI.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah, it's grown on me.
I used to love Law and Order Criminal Intent with D'Onofrio. I loved that back in the day.
How do you not love D'Onofrio?
Amazing.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to him coming back as Kingpin and then
absolutely. Alex tweets, rank the best streaming services by best TV shows.
Ew.
It's hard.
Well, Netflix doesn't make that list.
Doesn't?
Oh. You know what? Right now,
yeah,
I think it's Apple TV.
Apple TV.
I'd say Apple TV, HBO Max.
Yeah, I mean, if you include the HBO shows, if you're watching them streaming wise, I mean, I love all the Disney stuff. I love all the Star Wars stuff. I love all the Marvel stuff. I really like the Andor.
Andor is fantastic.
Yeah, they don't have a ton of programming, but I've liked a few different things on Paramount Plus because I like.
That's
I love
the Trek in me.
That's Trek, but I loved the show at Stallone. I really liked that.
Oh, Tulsa King.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
that was good. And what do you call it? The show with oh my god,
Mayor of Kingstown.
Mayor of Kingstown. Yeah, I couldn't think of it. Yeah, that's a really good show too. All right, I thought I had one more fan question. Oh, the April tweets: how do you have time to read novels, watch an array of television shows, do the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, and 2 podcasts, be able to talk NBA and NFL intelligently, and still grasp which Oakland A's back of the rotation guys are good or bad? I'm insane. I have no life besides that. I mean that's my life, plus coaching my son's little league team and being with my wife. That's about it. I don't have any other hobbies besides television and sports.
It's called having your priorities in line. Family.
Yes.
And then everything else.
That's right. All right, great stuff. George, it was awesome having you on. It was good to see you. I'm sad. I was going to say I'm sad that I won't see you at Browns camp, but I don't know that I'm going to Browns camp either. I mean, what the hell do I want to do out there? Maybe I'll go one day.
Hopefully I won't I didn't say that.
Yeah. Well, text me if you're going to go out there for a day, and I'll come that day you're out there so I can see you.
All right, Adam.
All right, man. George, I appreciate it, buddy. Be well. I'll talk to you soon.
Nice to meet you, man. Take it easy.
Nice to meet you too, George. Take it easy.
All right, welcome back. As you know, on every episode of Up Next, I bring in my son. And up next, here he is. It's Aaron the Bull. Or Aaron, what are we calling you? Baby Bull?
Yes.
That's what the guys call you. Aaron, my son, how are you? What's going on?
How are you, Father?
Doing well. Good to see you. I like the shirt, by the way. Not that anybody can see it because it's going to be on just audio. But all right, let's get to the kids report here this week. And we will begin with the kids show. So I was talking about this earlier in the podcast that one day I was doing some work and I see you watching TV and you're watching Scooby-Doo, which I didn't know there was a new version of Scooby-Doo, but apparently there is. There was a show I watched when I was a kid. And how many seasons of Scooby-Doo, the new Scooby-Doo cartoon, are there?
There are 2 seasons. Yeah. And it's not just called Scooby-Doo. It's called Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. Very fancy, I know.
Yeah, that is very fancy. Scooby-Doo. Do they still drive in the mystery van or whatever it is?
Mm-hmm, the mystery machine. They still drive in it.
Okay. Are any of the voices, do you know, the same as when I watched it as a kid? Or you probably wouldn't know that. I don't know.
I have no clue. But as far as I know, they never change Scooby's voice. And also, did Shaggy say like a lot when you watched the show? Or can you not remember?
Yes. Yeah, I think he did.
He still does that.
Why is it that you like Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated so much?
So whenever the episode starts, they just get right to the mystery, and it's nice being able to just see it right away, and it's entertaining. And I love how sometimes it makes me want to skip to the end and just find out who is dressing up as the monster.
Yeah. How often are you able to figure out who it is? Do you always know who it is by the end, or are you surprised?
1 out of 10 times I'm able to figure it out.
Oh,
I figured it out like 3 times out of like the 27 episodes I've seen.
That's about an 11% rate. It's a little low, but we'll work on that. All right. One other thing we wanted to get into. So you and I don't like to watch trailers usually. We very rarely watch trailers, but we decided to watch a trailer because I always like to talk to you to get a kid's opinion on a show that's for adults and kids. And there hasn't been any for the last month since we last did this. We did watch a good movie. I know we're a TV podcast, but we did enjoy a movie called Crater on Disney Plus, which was really good about 4 kids living on the moon. It was a really cool show. our TV. I thought it was going to be a TV show, but it actually was a movie. So we wouldn't get into that. So I said, all right, well, the next show, that could be for kids and adults that's coming out is Secret Invasion, which is the latest Marvel TV show following the incredibly good Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Secret Invasion is the next TV show for Marvel, and it stars, of course, the great Samuel L. Jackson. And so you and I, as Nick Fury, yes. And so you and I decided to watch the trailer. We did it yesterday. I wanted to stop halfway through, but you wanted to see the end, so we did go to the end. What was your thoughts after seeing the entire trailer? How excited would you say are you? I believe it comes out 4 weeks from today, maybe. How excited are you to eventually watch that show?
To be honest, I am actually really excited.
Yes.
It sounds like it has to do with aliens, and you know this, but other people don't, that I love zombie apocalypses and alien invasions.
You do. It's true.
I really like that sort of thing.
Yeah. And so that's what has you excited? There's no zombie apocalypse in this.
I know, but it's an alien invasion, sort of.
But that's true.
It seems like to be an alien invasion. It looks really interesting, and I think that we're going to find some things about Nick Fury that we definitely didn't know. Some shady things.
Uh-huh. Oh, you think Nick Fury might be shady?
A little bit shady.
Really? He's
Maybe
sus?
he's still going to be a good guy, but like shady secret sort of thing.
Interesting. I thought the preview for it looked amazing.
It looked really good.
Very kind of dark. I thought it was kind of dark and grittier than the typical Marvel show.
Gritty.
Samuel L. Jackson, who plays Nick Fury, is an amazing actor. So him starring in a show is very exciting. And and then some of the secondary characters that we've seen in other Marvel things.
Yeah, look like they're like other members of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right, exactly. Are part
and
of this.
We might find out that they have a dark past too, and they might have killing 30 people. Probably not as many as John Wick, but
John Wick. That's another story for another day. Aaron, as always, thank you for joining me for the Kids Report.
All right. See you in a couple weeks. Adios.
See you later. All right. That's it for another episode of Up Next with Adam the Bull. Thanks to Michael for producing, George Thomas for co-hosting, and my son Aaron for joining me as a guest as well. We'll be back again in 3 weeks. We did 3 weeks between episodes. We're going to do 3 weeks between another 2 episodes. And then after that, we'll get back to every other week. Thank you all for joining me. We'll see you next time on Up Next with Adam the Bull from Press Play Pods. See ya. stand me.